Hey everyone, it's time for Compassion in Action. And regrettably, our planned guest, Laura Urim, was unable to be here with us today. But we have a special treat. At least I think it's a special treat. We're going to be talking to the marvelous Judy Ramsey. Judy is a shamanic practitioner, and she specializes in animal wisdom and journeying with animals. And I am so excited to be able to speak with her because I find what she does fascinating. So, welcome, Judy, and thank you for being with us today.
Thanks, Elaine.
So, can you tell us just a bit? How does one become a shaman in these modern and day times? I view it as connected with South American native peoples, maybe the medicine men and women of the North American peoples. Can you educate us a little about it?
Sure, shamanism is a practice, and it's kind of like veganism in that it's not a religion. It is a lifestyle and a life perspective. It's been around for nearly 10,000 years. And the word shaman actually comes from a Siberian Tungus word, meaning one who sees in the dark. Um, all over the world in all different cultures, and we all have come from shamanic based cultures because years and years ago, centuries and eons ago, that was the medicine of the day. It was very spiritually based and very nature based.
So, how did you start on your journey to become a modern day shaman?
Was actually and it's shamanic practitioner. If you're a
Okay.
shaman, you are named that. That's your title given to you by your village people, by a community, and all the rest of us are practitioners. But I started on my journey through my horses, through my animals. And then I found when I was learning to do more deep animal communication, um, my mentor, Penelope Smith, introduced shamanism in her practice. And from there, I went and found Carla Meske and Sandra Ingerman and Tom Cowan and a whole bunch of other wisdom keepers that I absolutely adore.
Did you study with them in person or
I
what is
did.
that? Okay.
Yeah, and I'm one of Sandra Ingerman's approved instructors, actually. I've
So
been
if
doing,
one, oh, sorry, go ahead, please.
that's okay. I've been doing the work and the teaching for nearly 20 years, and with Sandra about 8.
Well, that was my next question. If somebody wanted to become a shamanic practitioner, and thank you for clarifying that term for me, could someone study with you?
Absolutely. Yeah. We all have cycles um, of classes. Usually it's a 1 to 2 year kind of teaching and mentorship
Mhm.
to become a practitioner. And the I happen to focus on animals, and I also work with people, but my primary focus is on working with animals.
So I familiar, there was a European tradition, actually 18th century France, when the great natural histories came out. And the people then, everybody who could read, viewed, even those who couldn't read with the bestiaries, viewed learning from animals as a way to become a better human. And natural history was that, not to learn more about the animals' lives, but to learn more wisdom from them. And I find it fascinating that you share that belief. Can you tell us a bit more about animal wisdom and how it applies to your life and the lives of your fellow shamanic practitioners?
Sure. One of the premises of shamanic practice is that we are all part of the web of life. So we're not on the outside looking in at the animals or looking in at anybody else. It's not us and another, it's us and others that are equal with us. So it's very compatible with the premises of this organization, of the Compassion Consortium, in that everybody is equal and has an equal energy, equal say, equal divinity.
And this section, compassion and action, I sometimes I believe that as we do as humans, we view animals from the outside and we judge their actions as being not kind, not, the preying upon another, killing another, whatever label we put on them. What have you learned in your wisdom from animals that do you see them as compassionate creatures, compassionate towards other animals, compassionate towards humans?
Um, Most of the animals that I work with, and the people actually, uh, from a shamanic perspective, you're looking at the spirit of the animal or the person, not what you see. And that's how animals generally live, is primarily in spirit. So very few of the animals will have actual judgments because they're very present with what is happening in the moment. And they're more concerned about the spirit of the relationship and the person than they are about the actions. They have a tremendous capacity for forgiving the actions because they know that's not the real person. And when I work with people and animals in interspecies counseling, and I also train people to be interspecies counselors, we look at the spirit of the relationship, and we get the broader view, and that's where the compassion comes in. It's hard when you're nitpicking, or looking at very pointed and precise aspects of a person or relationship to be objective or to be non-judgmental or to be compassionate, because we're only looking at one aspect. When we get the broader view, as the animals take in, it's the entire energy field of that relationship and the entire energy field of the entire web that we're tied into when we're tuned into a particular person or animal.
Can you tell us a bit about that? What was your first experience like with an animal when you realized
Oh, it brought me to my knees. I was in some training to do equine facilitated therapy. I was one-on-one with a horse named Harmony, of all things, and I was doing my first kind of communication with this animal, and all of a sudden she brought in all of the horse ancestors, and I received an initiation on the spot that absolutely overwhelmed me and brought me to my knees and to tears. It was the most amazing and beautiful event that I can even describe.
And probably indescribable.
Oh, no words for it. No words.
So what words of wisdom could you offer us today, those of us who are not part of this practice, maybe fascinated by it? What wisdom can we learn from animals in our everyday lives? What would you advise the common everyday human to learn from the animals that exist in our house and around us?
It's going to sound very Taoist, but to be a hollow bone, to be very present with the moment, and to be very at the same time that you're present in the moment, to be present in the universal moment, to be very to take the broader view whenever possible. And there is a shamanic saying, hollow bone. It means you leave all your baggage, your judgments, everything that we carry around with us all the time that affects our perception, leave that at the door. And if you're present with the spirit of what's happening, then you can see and experience the energy of a relationship, of a person, of a situation.
That explains what I was curious about when you were talking about existing in the spirit and how the animals exist in the spirit. One last question, Judy, and I hope it's one others have as well. We live our lives with pets, and I have horses as well, and they have been to me God's beauty on earth my whole life. But there have been many times when I thought I have done something wrong, or I felt I needed forgiveness from an animal. Do they forgive us? Do they understand our need for that, and do they forgive us?
I can answer with an anecdote from one of my horses. I was at the training far away, and I communicate with my animals whenever I'm gone. And over lunchtime, I overheard some women saying, I hate it when people call me my horse's mom. They're not children, they are beings in their own right, you know? So I connected with my horse and I said, does it bother you when we call you kids? Because we would call them down from the upper pasture saying, come on, kids, it's dinner time. And she said, without missing a beat, nope, that's what we call you too.
Oh, I love that. I see there's a question here. Please ask how to communicate with people in the nature traditions. The question is reflecting on, there are those who are, strong vegans, vegetarians, and there seems to be a lot of questions around that. Can you speak a little bit on that before we close? We have a few more seconds.
Would you clarify the question for me, please? Just repeat it one more time.
Okay, please ask how to communicate with people in the nature traditions. I find it difficult with vegetarianism and veganism and would love to get through that.
I'm not sure I understand the nature of the question.
Well, there we go then. So I think go ahead, I'm sorry.
Because I think it's very compatible with vegan traditions. One of the things that does come up from time to time is how animals fit into the overall picture of nature-based traditions that may include eating animals or using animal skins for tools and things like that, like drums or rattles, clothing. And I think it probably stems from long ago traditions that's all they had. And their communication with the animals included asking permission to take the life.
Yes.
And there is an entire cosmology that some religions have, even, of ordering, animals were put here to serve humans and that kind of thing. These days we have artificial drums, and there are companies that make them, and there are always options to choose from. And we can always give sacred send-offs if we find that the tools made from animal parts are necessary. And usually it's from animals that have already passed. We're using the bodies. And the animals really have communicated to me time and time again that whatever we do with their bodies after their soul has left it is up to us. They have no investment in the body like humans do.
Okay, and thank you. The person who asked that thank you for answering, and that was her question. Judy, I cannot thank you enough. I'm afraid I'm going to forewarn this forum. You're going to hear me knocking on your door. I'm fascinated with the
That's okay.
the shamanic practitioner journey. So thank you so much, Sarah.